Right now, the state of Wisconsin makes a visible sign. It supports LGBTQ rights and inclusion. A look at the Capitol building's historic rainbow flag.
And after last summer's historic flooding, we're checking in on conditions at local beaches, how the Parks Division is moving forward from all the damage.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
The LGBTQ community statewide is celebrating a victory today.
And they say a bright new addition to the Capitol is symbolic of change. Our Madison O'Neill explains how.
Onlookers are calling it historic. For the first time, the Rainbow Pride flag is flying over the state capitol.
Something we've been waiting for forever.
After years of feeling isolated, left in the dark.
It's just something that you don't feel over the years, you don't feel comfortable about.
These colors are a welcome sight for the LGBTQ community.
I'm like, I have to be here. Like, there's no way I'm gonna miss this. Like, this is history in the making.
I'm a lesbian and I take pride, and I'm happy to not have to hide, and happy that live in a supportive community.
For advocates like Clay Thomas, the flag is a chance to reflect.
We are like riding on the shoulders of giants here with all that they've done to all that has been done over the course of history to make it so that we can be out and proud.
A visible reminder to everyone of how far they've come.
We're finally getting recognized for who we are and actually be who we are and not have to worry about being different, because we're not different. We're the same as everybody else.
Now, it's much more acceptable and people are welcoming and inclusive, and it's a big change. It's a great change.
The change is ordered by the office of Governor Tony Evers, hoping to signal that Wisconsin is an inclusive place.
It's an emotional feeling, happy feeling, sad feeling, but all in all, it's amazing, and I'm glad it finally happened.
For those here, it's a bright point in history.
It feels like love, that flag stands for love.
The rainbow flag will be flying throughout the month of June. Reporting at the Capitol, Madison O'Neill, News 3 Now.
Not everyone is happy about the rainbow flag at the Capitol. State Representative Scott Allen of Waukesha told the Associated Press that the flag advocates a lifestyle some Wisconsin residents may not condone and says it is divisive.
Taking a live look from the News 3 Now sky camera. A beautiful evening to start our weekend. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti shares how long the sunshine will hang around. Gary?
Well, Charlotte, at least for another day, there's hardly a cloud to be found anywhere around the Midwest today, so that bodes well for the forecast for tomorrow. You can see on visible cloud track, very little cloudiness anywhere near southern Wisconsin. The nearest rain is up north of the U.S.-Canadian border, north of North Dakota, so that's not heading in our direction. Right now, temperatures are in the lower 80s here in Madison, mid-80s to our west, but closer to Lake Michigan, temperatures are in the 70s and even upper 60s close to Lake Michigan and Milwaukee. Heat index right now is actually a degree cooler than the actual temperature. That's because the air is pretty dry. Dew point temperatures are in the 40s and low 50s. But tomorrow morning, those temperatures will be in the middle 50s again, but look for sunny skies and another warm day with a high of 81. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
A gorgeous day in our neck of the woods. A perfect day for a trip to the beach.
Keely Arthur is soaking up the sun today. She joins us live from Spring Harbor Beach in Madison right now. Keely?
Wearing lots of sunscreen, of course, but it is a clear sky, very sunny, gorgeous day. So many people out here enjoying the beaches earlier, but not all Madison beaches are created equal. Some, in fact, still on the mend after suffering from last year's flooding.
They're good. They have water and sand.
And on a gorgeous day like today, that's really all UW students Maggie Rowe, Grace Bossert, and anyone else really needs at Vilas Beach.
We just got done with work. This was our day off, both of us.
Yeah.
So it's nice to come here after, because everybody works in the summer usually in Madison. So after you're done with your shifts, you can come to the beach and hang out with your friends.
But some beaches, unlike Vilas, are still recovering from last August's historic flooding.
We always have to rake the weeds and debris, and occasionally we have to add a little sand above that high water mark, but this year it's just more because of what we experienced last fall.
The Madison Parks Division says Marshall, Tenney, Olbrich, and B.B. Clark were hit the hardest, suffering substantial damage following torrential downpours and subsequent flooding.
Like almost little gullies from the turf that is adjacent to the beach down to the waterfront, where water just found its way very quickly and very forcefully down to the lake.
The Parks Division is currently applying for FEMA grants that will use federal, state, and city money to make repairs, which is expected to cost in the thousands, although officials don't have an exact sum yet.
It's very typical that we have to come in and re-nourish a beach each spring, but it's not every beach, and it's not to the same degree that we're having to do this year.
No beaches are beyond repair, though. Good news for these two, who say they plan to ditch their traditional summer hangout.
We usually just go to like the Memorial Union dock
And make this their new summer hangout.
It's a good place to lay out for sure.
And something else to monitor is the water quality. That is often why beaches do shut down because of blue-green algae blooms, which we saw earlier in the season but aren't experiencing right now, although experts say that will likely happen this weekend because of all this heat and the rain we had earlier in the week. To check out any future beach closures, head to our website, channel3000.com.
Keely, great job tackling such a tough assignment at the beach today.
It's been a long day for her. Long day.
All right.
Oh, yeah. This was my toughest assignment yet, I think.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you.
Keely, thank you. Madison police say there has been a significant decrease in shots fired incidents so far this year compared to last. Between January and May, there were 51 reports of shots fired. That's down 42% from the same time last year. 8 people have been hit by gunfire this year in Madison.
The Madison Police Department and School Board have reached a tentative agreement to continue using school resource officers. This comes after community members called to remove officers from schools because they placed students, particularly children of color, on a school-to-prison pipeline. If approved, the contract would keep one officer in each of the 4 high schools for the next 3 years. In a statement, Police Chief Mike Koval voiced concern about a clause in the agreement that would allow the district to try going without an officer in one of the schools. He argued this would create safety issues. The mayor and common council have to sign off on the contract. New at 6, 2 Sun Prairie men are facing felony charges in connection with a significant property damage to the volunteer fire department's training facility. Police say they had help from the public identifying Riley Frenzel and Samuel Kuehler from surveillance video. They're suspected in 2 separate incidents last month, totaling $30,000 in damage to the fire training facility. Investigators also suspect the 2 are suspects involved in $15,000 in damage to the Sun Prairie Aquatic Center in 2018 and $50,000 in damage to the construction site for a brewery.
The owner of Metcalf's grocery store chain is changing his mind about pulling Fairlife products from shelves. Earlier this week, those items were removed after a disturbing undercover video surfaced showing animal abuse at Fair Oaks Farms. The owner and founder of that farm issued an apology, stating 3 of the 4 employees shown in the video had already been fired months ago after coworkers reported their behavior. The 4th employee was fired immediately after the owner saw that video. He outlined corrective actions, including installing cameras throughout the property to monitor employees. And Tim Metcalf wrote in a statement on Facebook that he is impressed with Fair Oaks' quick response and will be returning Fairlife products to Metcalf shelves by the end of the day.
99 people were awarded today for their bravery, excellence, and life-saving efforts throughout the past year at today's Sheriff's Awards ceremony.
And that is the largest number of people ever honored at this event. Our Jamie Perez joins us with some of the highlights from that ceremony. Jamie?
Sheriff Dave Mahoney actually calls this ceremony one of the highlights of the year. It's a day where he can basically publicly recognize members of the Sheriff's Office and community members who go above and beyond to save lives and to help out in times of need. Now, this was the largest ceremony in the history of the Sheriff's Office. It recognized those who have saved lives in car crashes, floods, the deputies who responded to the Paradigm shooting, the Monona murder suspect who was arrested after burning his home down, and even the deputies who received life-saving certificates for administering Narcan while responding to overdoses. As Sheriff Mahoney wrapped up today's ceremony, he shared his own sentiments about how proud he is to work with so many heroes.
Every year as I stand before you at the award ceremony, I am humbled by the job that they do. They exceed the expectations of a law enforcement officer every day.
Lots of heroes shared that stage today, and each were given a plaque with their name, the title of the award they were presented with, and it was signed off by Mahoney. The deputies who responded to the active shooter incident in Middleton last September got a standing ovation when they were presented with their awards. Mahoney made note of how everyone involved except for the shooter walked out alive that day thanks to the employees and law enforcement who helped. So congrats to everyone who was honored today.
UW Board of Regents Vice President Drew Peterson is taking over as president. Fellow regents voted unanimously for him to replace John Robert Bailing, whose term ended in May. Peterson takes over as the UW works to secure more funding from Republicans who control the legislature. He said in a statement he will strongly advocate for those funds because, quote, an investment in the UW system pays great returns to taxpayers.
Shorewood Elementary School is celebrating its inclusive atmosphere. A school assembly today recognized the school's National Seal of Excellence from Welcoming Schools. Shorewood is one of 16 Madison schools participating in that national program. It includes professional development, lesson plans, and books on topics like diversity, gender, and LGBTQ inclusion to make sure that all students feel safe and included.
Through the Welcoming Schools program, we have forged an amazing learning environment. We embrace all diversity. We work together to prevent bias-based bullying, and we support one another in being who we are.
Shorewood received the award for meeting a number of benchmarks and also showing innovation for creativity through special projects developed by student leaders.
Next at 6, the Packers announced plans to honor the late Bart Starr, how they will remember legendary quarterback on opening weekend.
And after a long battle for a liquor license, Taco Bell Cantina celebrating its first ceremonial pour. Stay with us. One in 8 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime.
That's why tomorrow morning, family members, friends, and survivors will walk in support of research for a cure. The Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk is a rebranding of Race for the Cure. It's meant to symbolize a proactive call to fight breast cancer. If pink is awareness, More Than Pink is action. So far, participants have raised more than $180,000, but there's still time to help them reach their $200,000 goal. Go to ComenWisconsin.org to donate or register to walk.
Looking ahead, the Packers' home opener will include a celebration of the life and legacy of the late Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Bart Starr. The organization announcing today the September 15th game against the Minnesota Vikings will include a halftime program and ceremony to honor Bart Starr. Dozens of alumni, including some of Starr's former teammates, will be in attendance at that game. The Packers will also award a $250,000 impact grant to the Bart and Cherry Starr Foundation. In downtown Milwaukee, progress slowly is being made on an historic church. You'll recall this was destroyed in a fire more than a year ago, and yesterday construction workers put up the main hip trusses on the roof at Trinity Lutheran Church. Although they are putting in a steel roof now instead of the traditional wood one, workers plan to maintain the historical integrity of the church. That project is set to be completed 3 years from now. The total cost estimated to be about $13 million.
Downtown Madison's Taco Bell Cantina is officially a cantina. After almost 2 years since their opening, the restaurant was approved for a liquor license. Taco Bell Cantina's original request for a liquor license was vetoed by former Mayor Paul Soglin, and it wasn't approved until earlier this year. The restaurant is serving beer and wine products, including their specialty drink, a Twisted Freeze, consisting of Taco Bell's flavored freeze with a shot of agave wine. Area Supervisor Daniel Martin says he is thrilled the wait is over.
A customer's going to be able to come into the door and get a frozen margarita, a frozen sangria with a combo meal, with a taco. I think that's going to draw a lot of business here in Madison, especially with the college kids.
And if you stop in before 11 o'clock tonight, you can get a free taco with the purchase of one of these alcoholic beverages.
It is a beautiful start to the weekend with plenty of sunshine.
That'll continue with highs breaking 80 degrees tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti will let us know when we have to worry about those showers again. That's next in your First Alert forecast.
Well, the early morning hours overnight tonight, 35 years ago, was an historic weather event in these parts. And boy, it's really flown by. For a lot of people, it seems like yesterday, Gary.
Yeah, you know, around here, you mentioned the town Barneveld, and everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. But it was 35 years ago, just past midnight tonight, that the Barneveld tornado swept through town about 12:55 in the morning. Unfortunately, it destroyed about 90% of the town. about the water tower is about the only thing that was left there. Unfortunately, that storm was on a path that took it not only through Barneville, but across Blue Mounds. A lot of people said, oh, a tornado will never hit Barneville because of Blue Mounds. Well, that myth was shattered that night. Did $25 million in damage. 9 people lost their lives. 197 were injured. And it was part of a bigger tornado outbreak that started in Kansas and Missouri and worked its way all the way up into Minnesota and North Dakota, spawning 46 tornadoes over 8 states. Now, today, the weather much calmer. Skies have been clear through the entire day today. Visible cloud track shows no precipitation around. Doppler track, you have to go north of Minnesota and north of North Dakota and southern Canada before you see the nearest rain to us. And rainfall over the next 7 days expected to be somewhere in the neighborhood of around a quarter to a half-inch of rain. It looks like the latest computer model tried to put a little 2-inch amount over Madison. There'll be a couple of heavier thunderstorms, but most areas will probably see less than an inch of rain, probably even less than a half-inch of rain over the next 7 days. So that's good news. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Just hazy sunshine out there right now. The WISC Skycam. Beautiful blue skies across southern Wisconsin. And as we check out our almanac for today, it was another warm day. High today so far 83, low temperature 55. Right now we're at 81 degrees at the airport. Skies are sunny, winds are out of the east at 11 miles per hour. Humidity pretty low at 35%. Dew point temperature is at 51 degrees. Current temperatures range from 91 in Brainerd, Minnesota, and 94 in Fargo, North Dakota, to the 80s across much of the rest of the Midwest. But close to Lake Michigan, where there's an easterly wind off of the lake, notice Milwaukee only at 67 degrees. So that lake breeze doesn't extend inland too far, but where it is occurring, those temperatures really drop off. And dew point temperatures very comfortable, 40s and low 50s. That means temperatures will be in the mid 50s for overnight low temperatures. Winds generally out of the east, pretty light, mix up the air just enough to give you a breeze. It really feels nice out there. Showers and thunderstorms to our south eventually will start working their way northward, and by tomorrow night, some of that moisture will start to get into southern Wisconsin. A cold front out to the west of us will also bring some shower and thunderstorm chances as well. There's the front pushing into the Dakotas. On the other side of the front, temperatures drop back into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Ahead of the front, they're in the 80s to around 90. We'll be in the 80s again for tomorrow. Forecast for tonight calls for skies to be mostly clear. Low temperature will drop off to 55 degrees by morning, so a pleasant night. For tomorrow, look for bright sunshine, another warm day with a high temperature of 81 degrees. On future track, you can see very little in the way of cloudiness around here. Lows mid 50s for tonight. High temperatures tomorrow in the lower 80s. Tomorrow night, those temperatures drop back into the upper 50s and low 60s, but you see shower and thunderstorm chances late, and then a chance of showers and thunderstorms, but not an all-day rain on Sunday. Highs in the 70s. 7 to 10 day forecast. Those temperatures a little cooler for the start of next week. Shower and thunderstorm chances Wednesday, and then again about Father's Day on Sunday.
We got some big hitters today from our area in the high school softball playoffs. We'll have highlights. That's next in sports. Well, the WIA state softball tournament continues today with a lot of repeat appearances from teams in these last few years. Monroe, the top seed in Division 5, making its 8th appearance at state, the last time in 2013, facing 4th seeded New Berlin West. Cheesemakers get going early, bottom of the first. Katie Hayes lining one to right. Olivia Boback hustles from second, and it's 3-0 Monroe. Boback lighting it up on the mound, too, one of her 7 Ks so far on the day. Right now, Monroe up 8-2 in the 4th inning. Division 3 semifinals, it looked like a deer hunting season with all the fans from Poynette in orange shirts against Prescott. Poynette pitcher Casey Fountain was nearly unhittable. The junior struck out 14 batters in the game, but it was scoreless until the 4th inning. That's when Poynette took over. The Pumas scored 3 times on wild pitches in the inning. Mara Millard came home on that one, and then Poynette just kept on adding from there. Brianna Cowald rolling a single to center to score Lizzie Schwen, and Poynette will defend its Division 3 title tomorrow against Campbell Sport. The Pumas beat Prescott today 7-0, and the Poynette ladies say today's win was about persistence.
Something that we always talk about is grit. That's like our main thing. If you see on our shirts, it says like it takes grit. And to me, that means just like sticking through and persevering through anything. And I think our team is really good at that.
Here's our motto, you know, we're just always looking for better. That's all we ever tell them. We're just looking for better every single day. That's what you should do every day in your life anyway, is look for better.
Good knowledge bombs there. Still to come tonight, defending champion in Division 1, Sun Prairie aiming to defend its title. But first, the Cardinals have to get past Pulaski. That game will start a little late tonight around 9 o'clock back at Goodman Diamond. The Brewers with some work to do this weekend after dropping 2 of 3 to the Marlins. The Brew Crew outscored 24-3 in that series. The team hosting the Pirates with rookie Davis making his first start for Pittsburgh. As for the Brewers, Brandon Woodruff hoping for another stellar start. First pitch in about half an hour. Day game for the Cardinals and Cubs at Wrigley Field. Cubs getting off to a fast start thanks to Javi Baez. He sends that one way out to right. That is a 2-run home run, and it's 2-0 Cubs. Same score till the 4th. Victor Caratini, he'll send that one out to left. Scoring Jason Hayward, 3-0 Cubs, and Cole Hamels with a fantastic day on the mound, giving up 3 hits, striking out 10. Cubs win 3-1. The Bucks have signed general manager John Horst to a 3-year contract extension. In his years as GM in Milwaukee, the Bucks put up a 104-60 record, hired Mike Budenholzer as head coach, and got past the first round of the playoffs for the first time since 2001, so they'll probably keep him around for a little longer. Good decisions.
He's got some big contracts to deal with in the coming years.
He does, very much so. A lot of guys up in the next couple of years.
All right, Melissa, thank you.
Well, pretty quiet out there right now. Temperature is comfortable, 81 right now in Madison. A little warmer to the west, cooler to the east, especially closer to Lake Michigan. But for the most part, those temperatures feel very much like the heat index because the air is dry. So very comfortable. High of 81 tomorrow, very similar to today and yesterday. 77 Sunday, some shower and thunderstorm chances. Another chance for showers and storms Wednesday and about Sunday of next weekend. Otherwise, temperatures in the 70s to around 80 through the whole time.
Gary, thank you. Thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.